This is my review of the Sony NX5R, Sony's latest member of the NXCAM range. I've had this camera for about 2 weeks now and I've done a couple of jobs with it, and whenever I was buying the camera there wasn't much in the line of reviews online at this stage. I'll start off with a very quick tour of the camera and sort of point out what's different between it and the old NX5. Familiar? The mechanical lens hood, that's the same. You have also the Sony G lens, which is a very good lens. We also up here we have the video light, which wasn't on the original NX5 but did make an appearance on the NX3. The difference between this light and the NX3 is that it is actually it's dimmable. There's a diffuser in the box as well, which is pretty useful. Moving on ahead around, we have all the buttons, everything here is all the same, you know, what we're familiar with in terms of the NX5. So if you're used to Sony, pretty good. The sound is slightly different, where you have this thing on top called the MI shoe for multi-interface, and it links down here with this. So instead of being able to switch between source 1 and then source 1 also mirrored down here, which was on the NX5, the bottom setting goes to the multi-interface. So it's just something maybe to bear in mind. Another thing that's slightly different here is the on-off switch, which is at the very top, just below the headphone jack. Moving on around the back here, we have you have your SD slots. We also have at the bottom, you have your multi-interface and the DC charger. Your HDMI is under there with SDI out, video out, and your headphone, well, it's not headphone, sorry, it's audio out, but your headphone jack's over here. But it's exactly the same connection. This is just a slightly different level for line out. On around this side here, we have start, stop, record, a joystick, the link controller, or the remote controllers up here. We have and various assign buttons as well as what we're all used to. The sign button number 7 is over here. That is I paired that up for the face detection function, so I could maybe knock it on and off pretty quick. You have your usual controls here that we're all familiar with as well, you know, in terms of for sound. Another thing at the back here is the viewfinder. The viewfinder is okay, but a couple of things I noticed is it's long and it's narrow, and the information appears on top and on the bottom of the screen. It's not always easy to spot it, you know, because it's out of view, it's out of the picture. So, you know, the information is off screen, which I wasn't sure about. Another thing to mention is that we have this button on the side, which is for VAF LCD, which is your viewfinder LCD panel. It's an automatic sensor. If you're holding the camera, say like this, for a low down shot, your screen can go off because the sensor in here thinks you're going close and automatically knocks itself off. It does do a XAVC format, Sony's flagship format, at 50 megabits per second in 50p, as well as 50 megabits per second in 25p. It does all the AVC HD formats, which comes as standard anyway in the NX5, right up as far as 50p. You only get 50 or 1080i in the NX5 in the original model. It also does a DV format for whatever reason, I don't know. But apart from that, it's a cracking good camera. Love it to bits. Just a couple of things I'll sort of very quickly touch on here in terms of what I think's really strange. The on-off switch is directly under the headphone jack, more or less. It's fiddly to get at. It's very, very fiddly to get at. It's not easy to turn on and off whenever you have the headphones in. The MI shoe at the top, that's going to get lost. You know, I'm thinking maybe Sony could have put that on a tether where it could have sat down the side or something, or put it on a clip, you know, where it's sat around. Just somewhere that is, I don't know. It's going to get lost. That's just hoping new replacement part isn't 50 quid or something, you know. The output from the camera will send all your monitors to an external field monitor, the likes of your Zebra, your Pekin, and all other information that appears on screen will all automatically now go to field monitor. We didn't have that on the original model either. The zoom and everything is all pretty much identical, you know, so there's not a great learning curve to go from the original camera to this camera. I do like the little cable holders at the top. That's pretty useful. I tend to thread my headphone jacks around here, and that keeps everything tidy. A remote commander works really well. I'm not entirely sure about this joystick though. It's a bit fiddly. You know, the on-offs, the start, stop, record is pretty much flush, which is useful because it can maybe prevent accidental, but I tend to have a remote controller on the arm, so I don't really use that. But this joystick, it says in the manual that it can be pre-assigned to certain menu functions. I'm not entirely sure what you would possibly want that to be, but because I have linked the face detection to assign button 7, my method behind that is that I bought the camera to do the likes of weddings. This is primarily aimed, I suppose, at a live streaming and multicam productions. I haven't bought it for that. I did toy with the idea of moving to 4K, but because the market wasn't really there for it yet, I decided just to stick with this for now. The idea is that at a wedding, for example, if someone's up doing a reading, you have a bit of distance behind them, camera focus can sort of toggle back and forward between. I want to be able to hit face detection, hold it on the person there and let it go. Problem is, face detection doesn't work whenever you're in recording. You have to stop recording and go again. I'm not sure if that's something Sony can address or not, but it's definitely a bit of a pain. The joystick, I've noticed you can move your face detection back and forward. Apart from that, I don't know, I don't understand what that is for, but there you have it. That's pretty much it. You know, everything else, I think the camera's fantastic. You know, it's great. Sensors, 1/2.8. I'm sure at this stage, if you're watching this review, it means you've probably read the specification. You don't need me to go through all of that with you. So you know what all the buttons are, but the sensor on it is 1/2.8, which is slightly larger than the 1/3 sensor in the original model. Really performs really well in as low light environment as I have been using it in. Wedding receptions, hotel dims, the lights and, you know, things like that. Works really, really well, and coupled with an LED light on top with the light set to say 3200K for the color temperature 3200K, it gives really, really, really impressive results. Overall, the bottom line is, and I'm really pleased with this camera. I've used it, as I said, now as primary on a couple of jobs, and I'll continue to use it again. Now there's other features in there such as S&Q. That doesn't sell a camera to me. I'm not bothered with it. Wi-Fi, once again, I recorded, downloaded straight from memory card. You know, I don't need that. It also has FTP built into it as well, which should mean I should be able to send this directly via the FTP server. Once again, it doesn't sell a camera. Not for what I use it for. So these is all features I haven't used and I haven't tested, and I'm not really bothered about them, if I'm being honest. But look, that's the look of the camera. That's what my opinion is, and I just thought that hopefully you can get something out of it. So look, if you like this video, just don't forget to hit the subscribe button in the bottom corner. Thank you very much.